And welcome back to White Claw Wednesday, episode number 75. Oh, yeah. Got 3/4 of the way to 100.
3/4, baby.
Digital cheers.
Cheers up. Ooh, nice tango there you got there, buddy. Little tango.
Thank you. Yeah, this is one of my favorites.
I was trying to think of something funny for 75. You know how they say, like, there's some phrase, and I can't think of it, but it's like quarter buck or quarter something like that. 75 on the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Something along those lines. But I choked, so.
Yeah. Well, gotta nail that down before we put it as our title, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, 75, man. Holy cow. I accidentally just raised my hand on Skype. There we go. I wonder if people can see that in the recording.
Yeah.
75, dude. 75. That's insane.
Mm-hmm. The numbers are climbing, you know? And next thing you know, it's going to be 100.
Yeah.
But,
well, it's crazy because, we keep hitting these, like, episode milestones.
mm-hmm.
But at first it was like episode 10, we're like, dude, double digits,
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Way back when.
I'm excited to just be in the hundreds, just cruising.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too.
So,
all right, dude,
did you obviously hear about the soccer player?
Oh, my God. I'm glad you brought this up. I was going to bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Crazy week in the world of sports in general. I mean, so much happened this week. But yeah, I mean, terrible situation that happened with it was in the Euro 2021 tournament. Just terrible, man. So do you know what happened?
I mean, didn't he collapse from like heart failure or something?
Right. So he went into cardiac arrest, which we're talking about a Danish player named Christian Eriksen. And he's a really popular player. Like he's big, probably like maybe top 100 players in the world, I would say. So, his the name is known for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, he went into cardiac arrest, man, which is just crazy because I don't know if you saw the video, but he's just sort of trotting along and you can see his legs
He's in
get
the
all
game,
heavy.
right?
Yeah. He's mid-game. And it's a throw-in. Throw-in in soccer.
Oh, is he like trotting forward to do the throw-in?
No. So his teammate has the ball over his head, and he's trotting towards his teammate who throws the ball into him, and then he just collapses. The ball hits his chest, goes back to the teammate, and so it's kind of this weird situation where you're like, whoa, that was a weird pass, but also it just looked like he collapsed. What's going on? And even the guy that had the ball, I don't know his name, but he's like dribbling forward. He's like looking back. He's like, what just happened? What just happened? And I mean, it's funny that it happened that way, or it's crazy that it happened that way. It's not funny, but it's good because he was at the center of attention. It's not like he was the goalkeeper or one of the defenders way back there. Like the ref had the eyes on him. Everyone was looking in that direction.
So they were immediately able to
so
get
quick,
out there
man.
and
Quick. And I mean, yeah, they saved his life. They really did.
They saved his life. Did they save it on the field?
Yeah, they were doing CPR. CPR,
okay.
Right?
They didn't have like a mobile
No, they did. They had that too.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about, where they rub it together and then they say clear and they go
defibrillator.
Defibrillator.
Something like
there we
that.
go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was watching a video on Instagram. It was going around, and it was some girl whose dad worked on the device that was used to save his life. Just like, whoa, heavy, huh? I know.
Damn.
So yeah,
it's funny that. What's funny is this Key and Peele sketch that happened, like 8 or so years ago, and pretty much predicted this. A little bit different just because they were doing a sketch making fun of flopping in soccer, and they they have like a little bit of contact happen between a defender and an offensive player, and the offensive player, stumbles to the ground and basically goes up to heaven and talks to God and is told that he needs to come back and win the game. And then when he comes to on the field, they're bringing out the defibrillator and stuff. So it kind of that's what I think of when I'm hearing the description of it.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's a funny one.
Wow. I can't believe I haven't seen that because I've seen so much of their stuff.
Like Jordan Peele is playing the soccer player who's flopping, and he's got this wig on of like super long curly black hair, and it looks hilarious.
Man.
Other stuff happened in sports, also known as
much happened,
my Suns just freaking demolishing the Nuggets, man.
It was bad, bro.
I'm happy that it was like a sweep because it feels good to just, cement it that this series, like, because people love to, the injury excuse is always a thing. This player was injured. This player was injured. Like, had they had Jamal Murray, who knows what would have happened? It probably would have gone 7 games, at least 6. Would have been way more competitive, but I just thought it was good for us to sweep them because we got to prove that we're not playing in the sense of there can't be any doubt of like, oh, well, the Suns barely were able to beat the Nuggets who don't have Jamal Murray. It's like there's no, it's like, oh yeah, the Suns swept the Nuggets, and not only that, but Nikola Jokic, got his MVP trophy for the regular season awarded to him before Game 3, which was the first game at Denver for the series, and then the Suns win that, come back, win Game 4. And did you see the play that Nikola Jokic got ejected on in Game 4 last night? Yeah. What'd you think?
I mean, I didn't watch the game, so I don't have much context to it,
But just the foul in itself and what you saw.
The foul in itself was not a foul that I would eject a player for. Now,
I agree with you.
What's it called? A technical? It's a technical foul, right?
Well, no, it's a
flagrant. Excuse me.
Flagrant fouls are for physical violence, and technical fouls are for verbal violence.
Okay, so it was definitely a flagrant foul, I think, because he was going for ball, but also he was basically just accepting there's going to be collateral damage with the player there, It wasn't like he was going for the ball. He's like, oh, the ball's right here. I'm just going to swat hard, Like that was his mind, and that's not how you play basketball, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, it's not a big deal in my eyes. Like, yeah, he got ejected, but I mean, come on, like whatever, Like they were
they were down 3-0 in the series and losing the game. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. In a post-game interview, Nikola Jokic says he did that foul with the intention of, shifting the momentum of the game. He's like, I was trying to do a hard foul to, shift the momentum and kind of get the team going in a way. And really? I heard when I heard him say that, I was like, dude, that you basically just really classified this event as a full-on karma event because you do this play that you think is going to turn the tide for your team and lead to a comeback victory, but what it does is gets you, the best player, kicked out and pretty much secures the victory for the other team. So it's
exactly
a complete. I mean, this is what kind of happens though. Like, this is a good lesson for violence in a sense of like using violence to solve problems.
Yeah.
When you use violence to solve problems, often you're probably going to create more problems.
Do you remember, what was his name? Meta World Peace. What was
when he elbowed James Harden?
Yeah. It's kind of like one of those situations.
Yeah, that's talk about a memory that will live forever in my head. And I will never, I remember watching that game and just being like, oh my God. That's still the most, it's the most violent thing I've ever seen in sports, but it's also the most naturally done. I gotta just honestly tip my hat to Better World Peace / Ron Artest and say, sorry James, that looked like it hurt, but just because the way he did that, it really he really acted like he was celebrating. You know, because he had like just like did a play or something, and he's like
Yeah.
he's getting all hyped and stuff, and he's throwing his
Yeah,
arms
yeah.
around. He really was
Yeah.
acted like, yeah, this elbow was thrown because I'm freaking, you know, pumping my fist in a way, you know. And it just kind of felt like a mosh pit moment, you know, because often in mosh pits you'll get hit or shoved or elbowed, and you just look at the guy, and as soon as you look at the guy, like he's just raging, and he has like no idea that he just did that. And it's like, oh, this is okay, that's kind of what this is. But you can't get away with that, you know, in the NBA.
Yeah, when there's cameras everywhere and
Yeah.
people calling fouls.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, oh my God, dude, that would be such a funny skit too. Like commentating and having like referees on like a mosh pit, dude.
Yeah, dude, the referees in a mosh pit. Yeah. Dude, competitive mosh pit.
I bet that's a thing. Like, who can last the
it
longest?
sounds like
it's basically just a big brawl, you know?
A big brawl. It's like everybody gets thrown in this middle pit, and a lot of loud music's playing, and the song lasts 3 minutes, and whoever is still standing up when the song ends gets like $50.
Yeah,
like, that
there's
would be...
like judges and stuff. Dude, did you
brutal.
ever see that video of it's just a girl, and she's like dancing, and she's like, "Ooh, yeah, like what's up?" And then she's like looking around her, and she's like, "There's so much room," and she's like dancing a little bit more, and she's looking behind her, and she's like, "What's going on? Like, what are these guys doing?" You know, and she's feeling herself. And then all of a sudden, you hear the music drop, and the crowd just comes in from both sides.
Engulfs her.
And she disappears, man. It just disappears. It is so funny.
That reminds me of this one YouTube video. I don't know if you were there when I was watching it. I think Sam showed it to me, but it's definitely a viral video in that it's got, you know, millions of views. The comment section's great, and it's just a hilarious moment in humanity because it's an outside music festival, a lawn, like a big grassy hill kind of thing, and this one dude is just dancing as free as a bird, and the video is like 5 minutes or so, and the whole 5 minutes is like this one cameraman with a really good angle on this one weirdo dancing. And this
really?
and he holds this angle, and he stays on this guy just losing his mind. And slowly as the 5 minutes progresses and like you're hearing the song progress, people like one at a time, 3 at a time, 4 to 5 at a time just start filing in around this single dancer. And by the end of the video, like you've worked your way up to a bass drop, and the bass drops, and you're now watching an entire mosh pit of people just go insane. It's really one of the coolest videos. You could probably look up like single guy starts entire mosh pit on the internet. You'll probably find it, but it's just on a grassy hill, one dude dancing, you know,
so
like he doesn't care at all, and it ends with the biggest, like one of the biggest group, you know, dance parties you've ever seen.
Was he on like the screen that the crowd was seeing, or was this just, oh my God, look at this guy, he's going off? Let's go dance with him.
It felt like a look at this guy, he's going off.
That's because hardcore, dude.
That's
like next level.
You never see any of like the actual venue, like the band or the screen or the technical light speakers, any of that. The camera just stays still in like a random grassy spot. Like it almost feels kind of like the back of everything. Like that's why it's so isolated, and it just ends up taking this whole crowd. It's one of the best videos on the internet.
I gotta watch that, dude.
It's awesome.
Dude, speaking of mosh pits, man, or fighting and stuff, did you watch the fights this weekend? The UFC fights?
Dude, I only watched some of the highlights, but the highlights I watched all the highlights of the Nate Diaz fight. Just because
my God,
big fan of him.
Such a good fight, dude.
He is so entertaining when he fights because it looks like he's just having fun out there.
Dude,
you know,
it's
even when he's getting beat up or beating the other guy.
Yep.
Oh man, that was a good burp. Even though if he's getting beat up or beating the other guy out, like it always just looks like he's just kind of in like his happy place, which is something that just amazes me, that you can be that tough to like have that be your place where you feel the most joy.
Yeah, what's insane with him is, I mean, he's lost his last 3 fights. I want to say his last 3 fights.
That sounds right, yeah.
But he's still winning. Like,
yeah.
He's winning in terms of money, in terms of stature and prowess.
Yeah.
I mean, the great thing about that fight for Nate Diaz was
the way he closed it.
He wasn't doing well the first 3 rounds. 4th round, he was doing better. Leon Edwards was getting tired. Nate Diaz always has that stamina.
Yeah.
That's kind of his forte. And then round 5, he starts kicking his ass basically. Actually, not even round 5, but towards the end of round 5. I mean, maybe a minute and a half left. He starts putting the pressure on.
There was just a minute left, and he lands a wild shot on him.
Yeah,
and Leon immediately, you can tell he's in that mode of whoa, I'm trying to figure out where I am right
His
now.
His legs are wobbly.
Back. Yeah, exactly. His legs are wobbly, and then Nate goes in for a few more shots, and he's able to. I mean, Leon is just as talented in the sense where he takes a shot like that and he's still able to keep on his feet for the last 50 seconds of the fight and get the technical victory. So, props to him too. But yeah, you're right. Nate Diaz he's a fighter that's even in a sense more box office than Conor, because Conor is so high up that you almost expect him to win in some scenarios, in the sense where it feels more disappointing to watch a Conor loss than it does to watch a Nate Diaz loss, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one. The thing that I mean, I don't want to critique Nate Diaz out here, but he had Leon Edwards literally wobbling on his feet,
Yeah.
And he points at him, and this is why people love Nate Diaz, and this is why I say he's still winning, because even when he loses, he pulls shit like this. Mid-fight, he's got him on the ropes, and he's toying with him, being whoa, oh. He's wobbling around, In my opinion, he should have just kept clobbering him, he could have won the fight. And oh my God, that would have been so much more epic than him trying to do, I don't know. I mean, it's his personality, right? So I don't want to critique him like that. And he's an incredible fighter, so that's his thing. But I really feel like he could have won that fight. I do. I think he could have won.
I think that kind of lines up with what I was saying about he really feels the most joy when he's fighting in the octagon. Because, he lands a hit like that and he sees the guy wobbling and he almost, kind of goes out of body for a second and he's like, holy shit, that was so cool. I got to kind of, celebrate it in a way. It's almost like a wide receiver doing a dance after a touchdown.
Yeah.
Or actually a better comparison would be an NBA player making a 3 and then instead of getting back on defense, they start celebrating and then the other team scores on them. It's you forgot what you were doing because you got so excited. It's all good.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the what's it called? I was going to say interviews. No, press conference after the fights with Nate Diaz. He said he's I won that fight, Anywhere else in the world, I won that fight. He's walking around, basically saying, people know. People know I won that fight just because of that last round. And it's crazy because, technically, like you said, Leon Edwards got the win. He was putting the pressure on the first 4 rounds.
Yeah.
But when you see a guy start wobbling in the 5th round, and the other person toying with him like Nate Diaz, I don't know, maybe I'm biased, but I mean, in my books, Nate Diaz just got way more benefit out of that fight than Leon Edwards did,
Yeah, and it sure seemed like that. I mean, I guess Nate Diaz is more of a celebrity in a sense, but
yeah,
I saw so it kind of diminishes this point in a way of trying to compare who had the more successful fight, but I did see the social media clips of Nate Diaz partying in a nightclub following his technical loss. So it's again, you say he really does have that attitude of he won the fight, because I really think he thinks of it as I don't know, he seems like a guy who's he seems tough as nails, so I assume he's been in as many street fights as he has UFC fights. So I get where he's coming from, anywhere else in the world I won that fight. Because he's probably been in fights where he's, gotten his ass beat for the first 3 minutes of it, but he's so damn tough that he just holds on and then he wails on the guy at the end and wins. Kind of like what he did with Leon. So, yeah, I understand that. But speaking of, but the opposite of Nate Diaz.
What?
Have you? It's funny that I know about this, but I don't have TikTok on my phone. But I guess that's just the way I am. Have you heard of this Bryce Hall guy? And he's this TikTok star, and he did this boxing match with this YouTube star named Austin McBroom or something like that. So it was basically like, YouTube star versus TikTok star fighting.
Actually, now that you say that, I think I did see something.
Okay. Well,
was this big or how did I miss this?
I mean, it was big in the sense of it was big if you pay attention to TikTok.
If you follow them. Okay.
If you follow like TikTok and like the social media corners that only I'm assuming the youth follow. But
Gen Z, baby.
Exactly. So what you have here, it was hilarious because immediately following the fight, Bryce Hall, the TikToker, who's in his 20s, and then Austin, the YouTuber, who's like in his 30s with a family or something. Austin completely, beats the heck out of Bryce Hall in this boxing match. And
he's
Bryce
got a family.
Yeah, he's got a fan. I mean, he's got like what? He's got. I think they said he's got like 19 million subscribers on YouTube.
Oh my God.
He's, he's got, the YouTube bucks to support a family for sure. But
McBroom.
Bryce Hall gets his ass beat pretty much by this Austin guy, and he looks like a complete fool. Like he looks like me or you out there boxing. Like this Bryce Hall guy's like 160-pound, like 24-year-old or whatever. So he's basically
not quite my size, but
but he looked like if you or me threw on boxing outfit and got out there and tried to fight this dude because he got his ass kicked and he looked like he didn't know what he was doing. But as soon as he lost, the internet immediately started creating the memes of showing his pre-fight hype videos and then comparing it to his after-fight interview, because his pre-fight hype videos are all like, I've been in this is what he says. This, I swear to Ryan, listen, just understand how stupid this sounds. And this is, you'll understand the kind of the age range that his fans are when you hear this statement he makes. He says,
this is Bryce Hall.
This is Bryce Hall, the TikToker.
Okay.
He says, I've been in over 40 street fights. I'm a fighter.
Jesus Christ.
This is going to be light work for me. So you get, what I'm saying? When you can tell when your audience are kids when that's what you're saying, because any adult understands that nobody's been in 40 street fights. Nobody's been in 40 street fights.
Like, dude, come on.
Because,
you're not.
Bryce, if you've been in 40 street fights, you would be in jail now for a lot of years because those crimes would really stack up. Like, I'm pretty sure Nate Diaz hasn't been in 40 street fights. Like, 40 street fights have consequences, Bryce. Like, you can't, so
brain damage consequences.
So the memes clip that little segment of him bragging about his 40 street fights, and then it immediately cuts to him with a bloody nose and a broken face getting interviewed after the fight, and him saying, I'm not a boxer, I'm not a fighter.
Of course. It's all for the hype, bro. It's all for the fucking clicks, man. Dude, this guy's from the Ace family. They're huge, aren't they?
Who? Which one are you talking about?
The McBroom.
Oh yeah, I know less about the McBroom guy than I do about the Bryce Hall guy.
Amanda definitely watches their videos. Why would they call themselves the Ace family when they have a McBroom last name? That's strange.
I think it's for branding.
Yeah, probably. Wow, dude, that's crazy, man. Literally, we were just talking about this last week, but like the exhibition, money-making meta.
And not only that, but dude, there was another boxing fight that happened, like another exhibition fight that happened that I didn't know was happening until like
really. What?
I saw the clip of it. Lamar Odom, of course.
Oh, I saw this.
Did you see Lamar Odom knocking out Aaron Carter?
Who the fuck was that white guy in there, dude? What was he doing?
Dude, that's Aaron Carter. Aaron Carter is he's some child pop star who got famous off a music singing career, I'm pretty sure, as a kid, and then he's kind of maintained his celebrity by becoming like a weird drug user, tattooed tough guy in his later age, but he's not, he's not that. He's just like a skinny white guy who grew up rich and got tattoos to be
Wow.
tough. So, I mean, clearly he got tattoos to be tough. I mean, he was getting rocked by Lamar. Like,
but also Lamar Odom's like twice his size. Like,
I know,
what are you thinking, dude?
But Ryan, this is what I'm saying though. I'm assuming maybe he just did it for money. I don't know. That's probably what he just did it for.
Well, that's a huge incentive. He probably thought he was gonna win though.
Yeah, but if the whole tough guy thing that he kind of gives off, trying to be tough, if that's true, then it just lines up with thinking you can box a guy who's twice your size. Like he clearly thinks of himself as a lot bigger than he is, which can happen. But it was that out of all the fights, out of all the fighting that happened over the weekend, that is the clip that was making me laugh the most because it was just.
It is insane.
It
dude.
looked
I remember
like
scrolling past that and being like, "What?"
Didn't it look like a skit? Like it looked fake.
It looked staged almost.
Yeah.
You know? Like it was so weird to see that on my feed. Like, wait a second, like this happened, And of course, the only time it shows up is when someone's getting knocked out,
And what made it funnier was the fact that they had the headgear on. They had the
yeah. What an idiot, man. I wonder what's going through Kourtney Kardashian's mind, seeing Lamar Odom box and stuff. She's like, what is happening?
Yeah, true. It's Chloe though. Did you say Kourtney?
I think I did. So thank you for
Chloe.
the correction.
Sorry to get on you about that.
I appreciate it because if you didn't, Amanda would have been like, "Oh my God, you sounded so stupid." Yeah,
dude. Actually, has that show ended officially yet? Has the season finale aired, or because I know the final season's happening right now. I think I'm just not sure if the finale's happened yet.
Yeah, I feel like I would have heard it from Amanda if it's over.
Dude, I gotta look.
But I heard it was announced that it's over. But I mean, about time, Like,
let's see, finale.
You can only have TVs and things following you around and staging things in your life for so long, Like some things when I watch that show, reality TV in general, it's just so forced, Like everything around it is just, it's like I can tell when things are staged, It's like no rational person would react this way and or be upset about this. It's just like it doesn't make I don't know why people like it, but people do. So hey, I can't knock it, but it's not my thing.
Yeah, you can't. Exactly. But what is funny about it is I've always been a Kardashian watcher at
Hold on.
What? Oh, we cracked that. There you go. Nice. Yeah, well, I mean, let me finish that statement. It sounds like I watch it all the time. But no. There's been times in hotel rooms, sometimes you find yourself in situations where you're just surfing channels, You're just, you don't really have anything to watch, you're just surfing. And you end up riding the wave of the Kardashians for a few minutes, before a commercial break, obviously, because they come quick. But it always cracks me up because it's very obvious why you either love or hate reality TV because as soon as you click in, whatever the problem is kind of like, damn, I wish that was my problem right now. Like I turn on the channel and Kim is trying to figure out whether or not to go to Cabo or like France for her birthday or something like that.
Yeah.
And like that's the discussion of the little bit I watch is like that's the drama is like trying to figure out where do I want to vacation and on my private, resort / island or whatever. And that right there is like, damn, like fuck, like that's cool, like that's what you're worrying about, damn.
And
I wish that was
attraction. That's probably
that's like the attraction, and then that's also the non-attraction. It's kind of like, oh well, fuck you, or it's like,
it depends.
Wow, that's beautiful.
What type of personality you are,
Yeah.
I mean, I can appreciate it, but it's not my thing. It's like, it's just not my taste. Like the one episode that sticks in my mind right now is like Kourtney, and yes, it's Kourtney this time, is like going and advocating for more regulations on like cosmetic products, because apparently a lot of these products aren't regulated and approved, and so a lot of these little girls are putting like a bunch of makeup and chemicals on their face. Anyways, she was like advocating for that. then she called her sisters about it, and then Chloe like giggled and laughed, and she was like upset, you know.
She was upset
like,
that Chloe giggled and laughed about the project. Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, like it just that does it for me, you know. And then it cuts to like an interview, and Courtney's
she's talking about
explaining why she's so upset.
Yep.
And it's like 9 months later she has to go back and think about this situation and talk about it. I'm just like, this isn't real, you know. But contrary to reality TV, right?
Yeah, that's what's so funny about like the whole concept of reality TV. See, that's what's I think interesting about the idea of cameras and videos and photos and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Is like, does looking through the lens take away from the in-moment experience?
Well, that's a good question. It depends. Is it raw? Like this right here. This is raw footage, you know? Like, we're not editing this. We're not going through. There's no prep work. Like, we literally were on a call for 3 minutes and we press record, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
This, no. There's no barriers. Yeah. There's nothing. There's no obstacles. But reality TV, yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like, I like where this is going, because you take the reason why this is raw is because what we're doing right now is the technology. Like, the process of doing a podcast itself is its own thing, you know? Because with something like reality TV, it's putting cameras into what your reality is supposedly supposed to be, you know?
Right.
Like, we're not really trying to pitch any sort of reality right now. We're just doing a podcast, and podcast is two people talking. So it's just sort of like the camera's rolling doesn't affect anything in a way, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like with, you know, shooting a movie. It's like you have this work of fiction that you're working off of that's written down on paper, and you just film what's on the paper. So it's like, okay, that... But then you take like concerts, and then this is what I'm saying is, like, at a concert, is it worth having your phone in front of your face the entire time to watch videos where the quality and the sound just isn't the same as it was when you were there, and the moment and the feel and the energy of the crowd isn't there when you watch the video on your phone? Like, is it worth to do the... And I'm not even saying this for people who take out their phones for like 2 minutes during a concert, but I do see people at concerts who have their phones out in their hand the entire time.
Yeah, well, you know, to be fair, I was that person the first time I went to a concert. I was like all over the phone. I was like, oh my God, this is so great. This is everything. You know, I may have had something, you know. But after that, I kind of learned. I was like, no. Like, live in the moment. I mean, take a few photos here and there. If you really want to record a couple videos, that's totally fine, you know?
Or if there's like a specific song where you're like, oh, I got to get this drop.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay.
It's totally cool. I mean, listen, we're in the digital age.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
But it can definitely get out of hand real quick.
Yeah. I just think there's a great give and take, you know? I think...
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think having the idea of, okay, if he plays this song or if she plays this song, I'm going to take my phone out just for this little bit of, you know, and I just say, like, it's just like, I don't know. I just think that's, I mean, for me personally, everybody's different. So you could be a person who, you know, enjoys the moment more because you record the whole thing and then you get to watch the recording and you're like, oh, I remember being there. Like, if that's who you are, then you're a person who holds their phone up the whole time. And honestly, I'm not going to knock you, you know, because you're a person who enjoys live music, and anybody who enjoys live music is a sane, normal person.
That's true. You know what? You know the perfect example of this? I've seen this so many times when there's like a rave or a big concert, and you just go because it's a thing that people are doing, you know? Like, you're not really there because you're a super fan of the artist. You're just like, oh my God, it's, you know... Like Drake would be a good example of this, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a fan of Drake, but if 90% of his songs came on, I wouldn't know the entire lyrics, you know?
Yeah.
But you might know the first starting point. And so you hear the beat and you're like, oh shit, everyone's getting hyped about it. And then you pull out your phone and you start recording. And then you see the people in the video not know the lyrics, and you're like, oh my god. That's like the perfect example of who we're talking about right now. It's like you're just pulling out the phone to pull out the phone, you know?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Often, that's a good point. Is probably the most hardcore fans are the ones who are going mostly no phone / only phone for specific songs, because like the people with their phone the whole time are just they're more there for the moment than the music maybe, so they're trying to record the moment.
Yeah, personally, I appreciate photos more when it comes to like music festivals and stuff like that. Because the live recording just doesn't do it. Like, you're looking back on it and you're like, oh, like that was awesome. But it's not the same, And then you start remembering just the video.
Yeah, it doesn't sound the same musically in terms of, the sound. Because you have this massive, you're surrounded by speakers all around you. And then now you're playing it through your little phone. And it's like, oh, well, it's just, it doesn't.
What's the phrase? A picture speaks 1,000 words or something like that?
Yeah,
like, I'll give a perfect example. Hard Summer, I think it was 2018. No. Yeah, 2018. Maybe it was 2019. The year that we did the 2-day.
That was 2018.
Year was that?
It was 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
That year, it moved to a new location, and it was so dirty and dusty and windy and gross, and it was literally one of the craziest experiences I've ever had.
Yeah.
Just going so hard and
I think I know the photo you're talking
about hygiene. Like, everyone was covered in dirt. I'm not kidding. Like, there was no way you were avoiding it. And we took a photo at the end of the night, and it just shows how insane that day was. Like, a regular person who's never gone to a music festival sees that photo, and they're like, what are these 5 crazy people doing, posing, acting like they're having a good time? We literally are just covered in dirt and sweat and grime.
And we look
half
insane.
Half of us have
too.
Our shirts off. We look insane. I mean, the context of the photo, you can't explain unless you've been there and you remember everything, and you're within that realm. And that's the perfect example I could give about a scenario like that, because as soon as I see that photo, I think of everything that we had to go through that night, and not only up until that point of the photo, but after, which was possibly even a crazier experience.
Yeah, trying to walk home. Yeah,
trying to basically get an Uber, and we didn't know how to get out of this. It was a speedway.
Yeah,
right?
It was a speedway.
And so it was a big oval. Yeah, and we're so stupid, we didn't plan anything, and so we're basically ping-ponging back through the stadium trying to figure out which exit we need to go to. We're getting wrong information from people too, so we're going there, we're finding out that's not it, so we go all the way across. We end up finally finding the exit, which is on the opposite side of where we had just been. Then we had to walk pretty much all the way around the speedway. So now think of like a
pretty
NASCAR
much double
500.
Yeah.
But outside of the actual road, so it's longer,
And this place was kind of in the middle of nowhere, so there weren't really any streets around. Like, it was just a bunch of dirt roads and big open, asphalt roads, and it's like industrial sized streets, and it's not like a normal like city area where the cars are just all around ready to pick you up Uber wise. So it was a real, and also it's like 2 a.m. and everybody is also just getting out of the festival and trying to get an Uber as well. So it's just, and most of the Ubers, that was the other thing. I remember there was that specific exit.
You had to go to that location for an Uber.
To get an Uber or Lyft from the stadium. You had to go through this specific exit, and we were like, nah.
Yeah, we're like, no,
we
that's
don't
going to take forever.
You can't tell us what to do.
We're dumb. So we end up walking.
Yeah.
We end up trying to walk outside of the stadium and try and basically call an Uber, but you have to get out of this radius, right?
Yeah,
so
the radius of the stadium, yeah.
It was like 1.5 miles, and we finally get an Uber, and it allowed us a pickup location of like 0.5 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
And so
we start sprinting towards it.
We start sprinting. 2 a.m. We're all tired. We're going hard all day. We're covered in dirt. We've been walking forever. We're all pissed off because we can't get an Uber, and we just start sprinting. And then, I don't know, maybe we're 3/4 of the way there, and the Uber canceled. And that was a tough moment. That was a tough moment, dude. I had my shirt off, and I was running.
Yeah.
And then I just scream the F word, and I throw my shirt on the ground. I'm just like, God,
I'm pretty sure, like, it was one of those things where someone was in front of me. I remember being second. Yeah. I think it was like Sam in front of me or Scott. Whoever had ordered the Uber was in front of me, and I'm second. And we're all kind of like running at our own speed. So we're kind of like, spread out. And I remember just turning around and be like, Uber's canceled. And then I remember you doing that exact thing of just doing the shirt throwdown. What the fuck?
Oh, man. Good times.
Did we ever get picked up?
Yeah, we did. We ended up getting picked up. We ended up just going to the location that we were going to get picked up at and then ordering one from there. But it was still like a 30-minute wait, so it was still pretty rough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I do remember that wait. I remember just sitting on the road in the middle of the night.
Just on the curb. Half of us are laid flat, like cars going 40 miles per hour past us. Oh, my God. Crazy, dude. Just crazy.
I love moments like that because you're like, you just don't care.
And this goes back to, exactly. This goes back to our point. I get all that from that photo,
Yeah.
All of that I get from that photo.
All those memories at once just by looking at it. And
I don't regret it at all. That was such a great, fun weekend. And it's so fun to look back on, even though it was really shitty at the time. But
yeah. And then I also remember it was hilarious because that was day 1. And then for day 2, we outvoted you to do the same strategy because we were like, okay, now we know how the place works, so we don't have to spend time, doubling back and going towards the wrong exit. We can just quickly get out of there and then walk to the place to get the Uber. And we all voted on that, and you were the only one who was like, no, let's just get the Uber there.
Everyone was so stupid. No, I wanted to drive in myself.
Drive there yourself. I wanted
to park.
Yes.
I was like, I'll just do it. Like, I do not want to have to do that again,
Yeah.
And I got all outvoted.
Yeah, I still remember we were sitting at Denny's, and we did the vote. We did the vote around the table at Denny's, and you were pissed.
I was pissed. I was like, all right, if this goes bad, you're going to hear it, I was like, I am not letting it go.
I specifically remember doing my normal, my nervous laugh about you being mad about losing the vote, because I really, wasn't expecting everybody to be on my side, because I really felt like I was kind of the ambassador for the, don't take the car, and you were the ambassador for take the car. Yeah. And then when I got all the votes, I felt so, joyously guilty.
It ended up being the good decision, though, because that second day we got out quick. We knew where we were going. We weren't twiddling our thumbs. It was business,
Yeah, business. Keep it moving.
It was a good choice. It was a good choice for sure.
All right, Ryan.
Let's wrap her up, man. Let's wrap her up. I had 3 claws here. I was trying to go hard, but just
you just
got
good
conversation, man. I mean, So
all
hey,
right,
everyone.
Well, thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for listening. Sorry, Frank, jumped over you there. Appreciate everyone for listening this week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Episode 75. We're gonna keep them coming.
Yeah.
We're not slowing down.
I think I'm making a trip back to Riverside this weekend, so I think we could have the next episode be in person.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. So look forward to that, 76 in person. And, we'll see you on there. Thanks for listening, everybody. Peace out.
Love y'all.
Oh, wait,
Peace
one more
out.
cheers. Later.
Bye.